What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Grow with Breeze. In this video, we're going to be doing a comparison between Shopify and Squarespace. Shopify and Squarespace are two really powerful website building platforms that have a lot of similar features, but also some key differences that make each platform more suitable for different purposes. So in this video, I'm going to be going over those similarities and differences to help you decide which platform is going to be better for you. For your convenience, we have included our affiliate links to Shopify and Squarespace in the video description. So if at any time you decide you're ready to get started with either of them, be sure to check out those links for the latest info on pricing, deals, and promotions. That being said, let's get started. So on one hand, Shopify, although it technically is a website building platform just like Squarespace, it's not really known for its ability to build websites. It's more known as an e-commerce platform, a place where you're really going to be going to build an online store. This is its main purpose, although it does have some features that allow you to build a nice looking interface for your website. Shopify at its core is made for building online stores. It has some really sophisticated, more advanced features for e-commerce to help you with fulfillment, managing your inventory, marketing products, and much more. Squarespace, on the other hand, is a blend between a website builder and an e-commerce platform with some powerful editing tools that are really simple and easy to use that allow you to create a really good looking website. It has some of the best looking themes on the market that look really professional and presentable and are really designed for you to be able to select a theme, change the images and text and other elements on the page to reflect your specific brand, and then you'll be good to go. Really turnkey types of themes, really easy to use. But at the same time, in addition to being a website building platform, Squarespace also has some really advanced professional tools to help you build an online store. Squarespace has a lot better e-commerce features than other platforms similar to it, like Wix and Weebly. And although it's not quite as focused on e-commerce as Shopify, the features are still there, much more so than lots of other website building platforms. And building a website on Squarespace that's primarily an online store is just as easy, if not potentially easier, than it is on Shopify. Right now, we're on Shopify's main dashboard. You can probably tell just by looking at it that it's really focused on e-commerce. We do have a few website building related tools and tabs right here. So customize theme, add domain, that stuff. But pretty much everything else is focused around e-commerce, managing inventory, marketing products, and that sort of thing. So we have the orders section where you're able to manage the orders from customers. And in addition to that, there's an abandoned shopping cart section. Now this is something that's really unique from other website building platforms. Pretty much every other platform has abandoned shopping cart emails, but none of them have a dedicated section like Shopify does. And abandoned shopping carts are really important to pay attention to, but I would still consider them one of the smaller details in the grand scheme of things. So the fact that Shopify has a whole dedicated section for this just shows the amount of detail they really put in to their e-commerce features. We have the product section, and this section is pretty unique in itself as well. This section is all about managing inventory. It's one of the best, if not the best in the industry as far as this goes. So if you have a physical store, so whether you have a physical store or a purely online store, you're able to manage your inventory here. And if you have multiple locations at a physical store, then it's even better because you can manage all of that from your Shopify dashboard, and I think that's really cool. The customer section is pretty straightforward. It basically is where you can manage your customer accounts and that sort of thing. Every e-commerce website needs something like customer accounts, so it's easy to convert your visitors into actual customers and make it easy for them to do business in the future. There's the analytics section, which again is pretty straightforward. This has all the analytics of the website, from sales to website traffic and all of that sort of thing. Now, another thing that's kind of interesting about Shopify's analytics compared to others is that it's really focused on the e-commerce side of things, again, as expected. Stuff like sales, store sessions, returning customers, all of that. It's all gonna be really important when you're doing your marketing. The marketing section itself looks really similar to Squarespace in that it's basically where you can run all of your ad campaigns and that sort of thing right from the dashboard and keep track of everything. If you have like a Facebook pixel or something like that, makes it really easy to do it all from one location. Now, another interesting thing that's more unique about Shopify is the discount section. Here you can do discount codes and automatic discounts. So if you have buy one, get one sales or something like that, you can do that in the automatic discount section, or the discount codes if you want to give it to a specific customer or to everybody. Maybe you're running an ad campaign and want to have a discount code in the ad. That could be a good way to drive some traffic. Now, this is a spot where Shopify has a pretty big advantage over Squarespace. In the App Center, Shopify has over 4,100 apps that you can choose from to improve the performance of your website. Now, this is a huge selection, and if your business is on a larger scale, then you're probably gonna benefit from these extra tools. Now, Squarespace does have a lot of unique, really cool things as well, but the features on Squarespace are not quite as sophisticated or as plentiful as the different apps on Shopify. Now, this is the dashboard you're gonna see when you log in Squarespace. Squarespace is similar to Shopify in that when you log in, now unlike Shopify, when you look at a Squarespace dashboard, you're not gonna see the e-commerce section right away. What you're gonna see is the website itself, or at least a small view of it. And on the left-hand side, there's gonna be a menu with different categories to choose from. So for example, the pages, here you can look through the different pages on your website. You can add pages, move them around, all of that. Here in the design section, you're able to customize your theme a little bit. Here's the commerce section, and this part is pretty similar to Shopify. It's not nearly as detailed. It's still pretty good. So we have the inventory section, the orders section, customers for the accounts and everything. There's the discount section as well. And then here near the bottom, we have point of sale, product status, and all of this stuff. So there are lots of really similar features, but they're not quite as in-depth and detailed as the features in Shopify. Now we have the marketing section as well, with all kinds of different tools that you can use for marketing. So if you're running something like a Facebook ad campaign or something like that, this is where you're gonna go for those activities. So they are really similar in that sense. This is the analytics section of a Squarespace website. Like everything else, there are lots of really similar elements on here to the ones we saw in this section of Shopify, but they're separated out a little bit. So for example, sales, traffic, geography, all of that, all those categories are on completely different little pages from each other, as opposed to Shopify, where they're all just kind of thrown up there on one page. Now, I think when it comes to analytics and these reports and stuff, Squarespace is a little bit less overwhelming. It looks more organized and easy to read than Shopify, where it's a little bit more chaotic. Shopify has by far more details and more in-depth analytics, but at the same time, the analytics on Squarespace are really good as well. And they're just so much more organized and so much nicer looking that I personally do prefer Squarespace for that. Now, if you are running a larger business that has a large volume of traffic and sales, and need the fine details on those more advanced reports, then Shopify is gonna have a little bit of an advantage. But if your business is a little bit more simple and you don't need quite as much information, maybe you're even using a different platform to do your marketing and analytics and that sort of stuff, in that case, Squarespace is gonna have more of an advantage when it comes to ease of use. So now that we've gone over some of the differences in the dashboards between Shopify and Squarespace, let's take a closer look at their editors. So we're back on the main Shopify dashboard, and I'm gonna show you how to get to the actual website editor from this. So you're gonna go to Online Store, and automatically you'll be taken to the Themes section. And now here's where you can see your current theme you have selected. Now you can always change the theme down here, but we're gonna get to that a little later. So for now, we're gonna hit Customize. And here you're in the theme section where you can change all the different elements of your website. Now, one thing you're gonna notice right away, you can't really move anything around. Pretty much all you can do is change images and text, and you can delete some sections too and stuff like that. So it's really rigid and not very customizable. If you're trying to build a store just from the basic theme template, you're gonna have a tough time. Now I will be showing you in just a minute how you can actually create a really nice looking website with Shopify. But as you can see here, it's not very editable in the conventional sense. You really can't do a whole lot of anything. This is where your products go, which you have to actually add the products in a separate product section. And then if you want to go to mobile view, you're gonna hit right here, switch it to mobile. And now we're in mobile view, as you can see here. So as you could tell from that, Shopify's editor is extremely limited and you really can't do a whole lot of anything on it. You really don't have any flexibility or freedom to move things around at all. All you can really do is change the text and image and stuff like that. But let me show you what you can do. So going back to the theme section I showed you earlier, what you can do is choose from one of the free themes, which there are probably less than 10 of these. As we can see here, the selection isn't very big, but these themes are basically pre-made stores where they're pretty much turnkey. All you need to do is change the images and products and all of that, and it's good to go. Now, there are a lot more professional ones than this. If you go to the theme store, in the theme store, you're able to choose from many different pre-made stores that are created, ready to go for you. Change the images, the products, the text, all of that, and you're basically good to go. Now, there's a catch to this. The really good ones are expensive. For example, $180 for all these themes. So if you have a tighter budget, this is definitely gonna be a drawback to using a pre-built Shopify theme. Now there's another option too. As you see here, it says upload theme. You can actually buy themes from third parties that are a lot cheaper. You can get them for as little as $30, and some of them can be really expensive too. And if you know code, it's a lot easier to build a Shopify store that way as well. But the bottom line is Shopify wasn't really made to be a website editor. You can edit certain things to an extent, but it's super limited and you're not gonna be able to do a whole lot. The idea of Shopify is really using the e-commerce fulfillment services and then bringing in your interface for your website that's basically pre-built and setting it up that way, which if you're a beginner and you just want to build a website that's really simple and just get it going and be able to make changes from whatever platform you're using, Shopify is probably not going to be a very good option for you because again, it's extremely limited as you saw there. But if you have a pre-built website already, if you want to go get a theme made for you and just upload it and be done with it and get right to the e-commerce stuff, then Shopify is going to be a better option because the powerful e-commerce tools really do make up for the lack of customization in the website editing department. So if that situation does describe you, that's really where Shopify is gonna come in handy. So we're back on Squarespace's dashboard. Let's take a look at how you can edit a website on Squarespace. All you need to do is hit this little edit button and you're gonna be in the website editor where you can do things like add a section, you can customize the header and modify and add what's called a content block. So for example, we have this text block right here. This is considered a content block within the section. And if you wanna add something, you can click on the plus right here and add whatever you want. And it's a lot more flexible and customizable than Shopify is. Right here is the e-commerce section with the actual products. Now this is a little bit different. In order to change these products, you're gonna hit manage projects and now you're gonna be able to change out every piece of content in here. Now Squarespace is a little similar to Shopify in the sense that the main idea of the platform is to have a theme that's pretty much ready to go. All you need to do is change out the stuff that's on there for the content that you want to be on there and you're good to go. It's a lot more turnkey than something like Weebly and especially like Wix, which is more of a free-for-all than all the other platforms. But with Squarespace, you do get a lot more freedom and customization than you do with Shopify. You can change things out. You can really customize the theme you choose a lot more than a theme on Shopify where when you choose a theme, you better be pretty much satisfied with it because you can barely do anything to change it after that. With Squarespace, not only are you able to customize all the stuff, but once you get used to the grid system and the mechanics of editing the website, it gets really easy to use. And even if you're a beginner, it's super intuitive and you can probably learn within a day or two. Now, if you are interested in learning exactly how to edit a website on Squarespace, be sure to check out our full tutorial of Squarespace on the channel where we go over all of that information in more depth. But at the end of the day, if you want to do the work of finding a theme outside the website building platform and buying that to use as basically a turnkey website, or if you have a bigger budget to buy a pre-made theme on the website platform itself, then Shopify is going to be a good option for you, especially if e-commerce features are more important to you. But if you want that freedom of customization or don't have a very big budget to buy a really nice pre-made theme, then Squarespace is going to be a better option because you can customize and change a lot more on Squarespace websites than you can on a website that's made purely through Shopify. So in conclusion, which of these platforms is better? I would say the differences are different enough for it to really depend on your needs. If your website is not primarily an online store, then automatically Squarespace is going to be the better option because the only time Shopify really makes sense is if your website is primarily an online store. Now, that being said, if you're really just starting out, maybe you're a beginner and don't know a whole lot about building an online store, or you have a smaller budget, I do think Squarespace is for sure going to be the better option. Shopify is a little pricey to start up just because their free themes and even the third-party themes you can get from other places are not going to be as good unless you pay a lot of money for one. Whereas with Squarespace, their themes are made to be really good, really high quality, and you can customize them a lot more and make them how you want them, as opposed to Shopify, where you basically have to get something already how you want because you can't change a whole lot about them. The other thing is the 0% transaction fees. You don't have to pay transaction fees with Squarespace, but the transaction fees on Shopify are pretty high. So again, if you have a smaller budget, even when you're starting to scale to that medium level, you're not gonna need very advanced features like the ones Shopify offers, but you're gonna really benefit from having 0% transaction fees. So I do think Squarespace is better for that. But if you're at the level where you need to start getting into those advanced features, or you have a bigger budget to begin with, then Shopify has so many more sophisticated features that are gonna help you with both the marketing side of things and the inventory management and fulfillment side of things. So I would say if you have a big budget to the point where you can deal with transaction fees and the cost of setting up a really good theme for your online store, then Shopify is gonna have a big advantage due to all the more advanced features. If you do decide you're ready to get started with either of these sites, again, we have included our affiliate links to Shopify and Squarespace for your convenience in the video description. So be sure to check those out for the latest info on pricing, deals, and promotions, because by the time you're watching this video, prices may well have changed, or maybe some sort of sales going on, who knows. And if you want to get any more information about Shopify or Squarespace, be sure to watch our full reviews of those platforms on the channel. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next Grow with Breeze video.